day, when I was in law school, the first day of law school, Monrad Paulson took the whole class together and said, who can tell me what justice is? We all got up there and started talking about Plato and Aristotle and what justice is and so on and so forth. And after about 2 hours, after all of us expressed ourselves, Paulson says, you're all wrong. Justice is what the judge says it is, a very pragmatic basis. And so it too is with running a business. You run a business according to good, sound business principles. But what are good, sound business principles? Good, sound business principles are what the president says they are. And the president of any corporation is the value setter. And the stronger and more articulate those values could be set, the more unified the corporation is as it grows and develops, because everybody knows the rules.
When I started here, I came right out of high school, and when I remember my first new press hire class, they told everybody, forget anybody that had any other prior experience, forget anything you've ever learned before, we're going to teach you a whole new different way. And I think one of the reasons they do that is because they want to get everybody thinking on the same level and get everybody's goals the same way and make sure that everybody is oriented in the same direction to make sure we can all have the same common goals and end up with the same results.
To me, quad is like you walk in and there's this room of doors. And all you have to do is find a door that you want to open, walk up to it, open it, and go from there.
Being quadized means you start believing in what quad's all about. You start understanding why we're different. You start having fun in what you're doing. It becomes more than a job.
Quad Graphics has a certain business philosophy, and that's why we start a lot of these subsidiary companies that we have, like our own trucking company and our own ink manufacturing and our own food service, so that we can control our environment in terms of how we treat our customers and how we treat ourselves.
Hiya, Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Home. Started that little place there, 7 acres, back there in 72. 20,000 square feet of rented place and 12 employees. Started quite a thing here. You know, Quad Graphics is a many splendored thing. It's a marketing company, it's an ink company, it's a publishing company. It's even a printing company.
We built this company title by title, brick by brick. We didn't get one major contract and all of a sudden, well, we're a big printer. Right? We built this company one client at a time, getting more business from that client each year. Right? So that with little drops of water and little grains of sand make the mighty ocean and the beautiful land. The important thing was to take and verbalize our values and indoctrinate our employees. We expect very little back from you. All we expect you to do is eat, sleep, dream, and think Quad Graphics.
It was kind of different getting used to the Quad family. Everything I learned when I first came in as far as taking the classes and learning about Quad culture and the way we do things here, it was different. It was a little hard to swallow at first because it was something I never experienced anything like before. But other than that, after repeated exposure to it, it just becomes part of something that's it's just in your blood, just like ink.
Why don't we just use some dynamic braking on the motor? I mean, that motor's designed for it right now.
I live my job, and like an artist, he puts his whole self into his painting. And if you want to be good here at Quad Graphics, that's what you have to do also. You've got to take your whole being and just put yourself into your job. And a lot of our employees here they live and eat Quad Graphics. They are quadicized. And you know, I'm a quadicized person. I wear Quad Graphics socks, and outside of work I wear shirts and shorts. You have to eat and live Quad Graphics. You don't have to, but when you do, you become very good at what you're doing. People progress faster at Quad Graphics, one because of growth, but the major thing is our education. Our operators are trained and have to pass tests and understand the machine before they even get out here on the floor. When we put them on a machine, they know more than what I knew in 5 years. So when they hit that button, the only thing they have to do is get some guts and get going.
One of the problems with American management is we talk about enlightened management. Well, enlightened management only works on enlightened employees, and they're not born that way. So if you're going to be a technology company, you have to be an education company, because otherwise your skills are going to dry up. And it's getting the employees to understand that the principle of business is the best team wins. In a technology company, the team that knows most wins. For the rest of your life, you're going to be here in the classroom, learning and developing together, Educare, so that for everybody, our first task is to learn our job, our second task is to know our job, our third task is to improve it, and our fourth task is to teach it to the next person, that you can start learning the next job. Once they've learned our way, then they earn the right to participate in telling us how to change our way.
I've read articles in different magazines. I've seen it in the Journal. The term brainwash, people that I grew up with even said when I started here, that's not a good place to work because you're going to get brainwashed. When I got here, it wasn't brainwashing. It was more or less being molded a way that people, the way people work around here, that's the way they want it done. They teach you that way, you learn it that way, and you teach the next person that way. It goes right down the line. So when you learn the next thing up, you just keep working your way up.
Don't you take offense to that now when you hear brainwashing?
Yeah, I do take offense now. I think I wasn't brainwashed.
Quad Graphics insists on education and training, but thrives on the creativity of its people. Employees first learn the business and the company's sense of shared goals. The intensity of this in-house training is in fact a type of indoctrination. Once indoctrinated, employees are expected to improve the operations and management of the company. This has created new business opportunities, including truck hauling, equipment repair, ink manufacturing, and a division that sells control systems to other printers. And to take better care of themselves, employees have set up a daycare center, food service, and fitness programs.
When I hear quadicized, I get somewhat ruffled because I think people can be loyal to a company and still maintain who they are. And Larry says that time and time again. He doesn't want people that don't think for themselves. He doesn't pay people to say exactly what he wants them to say, exactly what he wants them to do. He pays them to do what they think is best for the growth of the company.
Individual freedom that you see in our company does not mean a lack of structure. In fact, we are a highly structured company, but we're structured from bottom up, not top down. Right? We are a bottoms-up company. And all the decisions are made to solve a problem where they can be best solved, where they occur, and then filters up that way. So we are very structured, but we're structured from bottoms up, right? Not top down.
As time will prove, the special thing about Quad Graphics is not the building or the binders or the presses. The special thing about Quad Graphics, what makes us the thing that we are, is each other. And that's the thing that draws us together, the close personal bonds. And that is what we do tonight when we celebrate.
The original 12 employees that started Quad Graphics were not a bunch of geniuses. They are no different than the cross-section of the community. And the more than 3,000 employees that we have working for us are statistically a cross-section of the community. They are very, very ordinary people. And through our education process, right, we try to affect our corporate goal of what a well-run company is, and that is ordinary people helping one another to become something more than they ever hoped to be.
We've installed more presses in a shorter amount of time than I think any other printing company in the United States. We built walls in a day. You know, you could see walls starting at the base of the floor in the morning, and by mid-afternoon the wall was there, and it was like, well, it was never not there, and the next day it was painted. And there's a great sense of accomplishment, and it's real. You walk in Quad Graphics and you do feel like you own it, like you're a part of it, and that you can see things that you have contributed to, and it's a great sense of teamwork.
This company is part Bill Groucher's company. I own part of this company. Quad Graphics has given me stock in this company, and that means this company is part mine. And I don't want it to do bad. We have a nice reputation, and I want to keep it. We all work together. We all critique each other's work. On the machine, another operator will walk up to a machine that he's not even in charge of and check the quality of magazine, because that's his company too, and he worries about the quality. And if we check each other's work, then a mistake will never get out the door.
If you're cynical, you can really knock what goes on here if you want to be cynical. But if you work here and you're with the people all the time, it really works. It really does. In any of my other jobs, in any of my other contacts with any other companies, I've never noticed it so much, where the people are so open and so openly friendly. No one's afraid to give people information. As far as they're concerned, that's the way they advance, because as soon as someone can take their place, they can move on somewhere else. Whereas in more traditional places, you will find that people will hold information to their chest, play their cards close to their chest. It's just the opposite around here.
We get the people to say, hey, you can be anything you want to be, just as long as you want to be it, and as long as you put your head to it. And that's why we don't have seniority. We do not promote people based upon time on the job. We promote them based upon performance. Some people take a little bit longer to learn than others, and no man is promoted unless they are ready. But the essential ingredients of getting this to work is getting the person to understand that they have the ability to become something more than they ever hoped to be.
Quad's corporate culture is one of a kind. It's something you'll never see in any other company because it's such a direct expression of Quadracci's beliefs. One of the most astonishing expressions of that culture is their annual Christmas extravaganza. Instead of hiring professionals, Harry Quadracci and his managers choreograph, sing, and dance in a 2-hour celebration in which he stars, a production that is in effect part of the ongoing training of his employees.
I introduce to you now the top management of your company. This here's the bosses, right? They are the one and only world famous singing vice presidents. Introducing now our vice president of distribution. He's in charge of all the paper and that comes into the plant and everything that goes out of all the plants, wherever they are in the entire country. He is also the original party animal, our Vice President, Bill Dija.
It's a lot of work, but it's a great time. You get 60, 70 managers together that don't know how to dance. They just got through with a 10-hour day. They don't know how to do the right steps. We don't remember the words to the song. A lot of us make jokes about it. But in the end, we all know it's very serious. If I can say, if we're making an ass out of ourselves on stage in front of 3,300 employees, it again just goes to show them we're really all the same people here. And we all have the same goal, and we try to teach that to everyone else.
It's our night to really shine and to give the people something really different. No other company that I know of puts on a production or goes to the extremes that we do. Just in practicing and preparing for the show, we start anywhere from 12 to 10 weeks out. We practice 2 nights a week, and this is on their own time from 6 o'clock until sometimes 10, 10:30. And then we practice just with the vice presidents on a special number that they do, again, for another hour after that. Working in a company like this is difficult sometimes because you never really know if what you're doing is enough. And you're always supposed to be there for the people that work for you. You're always constantly striving not only for your own goals but their goals. And sometimes it's difficult, and there's times when you stop and you say, when is it going to end? When is it going to stop? How much more can I give? But there's other people in the company that go through the same thing. And for me, that's a release. I have some friends in the company that you can go to and you can say, you know, I've had a bad day, or I don't know what they expect from me, and you might not get the answer that you want, but it's enough. It's enough to keep you going, keep you, you know, up.
We have this saying that we have this intentional ambiguity, and that comes again from Larry. And that at times can be frustrating because you think you have things figured out and maybe you don't really have them figured out, because there are contradictions of high technology versus hands-on, and you have no rules, no regulations, no structure, but yet you fire people because they're not performing, or you have education classes that you kind of insist people go to. But I think when you look at that, that's like the whole world microcosmed into Quad Graphics. You have somebody who's good at education, so they teach. You have somebody who's a little more lenient, so they balance out the person that's the autocrat that says this is the way it will be. The overall style has enough different elements where you can find a place where you fit in, where you can find people that are like you, where you can find the work attitude and the work ethic that is similar to what you can adapt to or fall into.
Over 3,000 employees around the country who depend upon one another every working day. But you know, think small. Remember, people, no matter who you are and what you do to live, thrive, and survive, there is only one thing that makes us all the same. You, me, them. Everybody needs somebody. Everybody.
How do you parlay $35,000 in loans into $500 million in sales? Harry Quadracci says you do it by thinking small, very small.